You'll have to let me know what 80s song that little ditty reminded you of. Jamming on that this morning. Kind of fun. Tell you what, get yourself a drum machine. It will take you places that you wouldn't normally go. We're going to sand this neck down today, and sanding a neck's not a big deal, but it does make a huge difference in the feel and playability of your guitar. This is a really pretty finish, but this is sticky instead of being really nice and smooth. Now, some people go to great length to sand their necks, removing it from the guitar even, but you just don't have to do that. All you need to do is sand this down. You don't have to get all the way to the wood. You just got to take that gloss finish off, and it can be done in just a few minutes. Doesn't take long at all. And you don't have to be real particular about where you go, or where you start, where you finish. You do want to put a couple pieces of tape on your guitar. You can tape it off however you please. I like an angled line to mine rather than straight across, because I just don't like things to be straight across. I like angles. You should see the sidewalks around my house. Not a straight angle to be found, a straight line, but lots of angles. Alright, so there we got two parallel lines for the most part, and then I've got myself a piece of 100 grit. Oh my gosh, 100, are you serious? Yeah, we're gonna start fairly aggressively, and then we'll finish off with a piece of 2000 wet dry. Alright, you don't have, like I said, you don't have to go down to the wood. People worry about taking the seal coat off their neck, which is a concern, I guess. You don't want moisture getting into your neck, but I've never had a problem with that, and you just don't have to be that, deep. You don't have to be that aggressive with it. So, here you can see this is coming off already. Got a nice satin. Oh, it already feels so much better. And this doesn't create a huge mess either. I'm going to just do this in here on the towel. And on this edge here, you want to, you want to be careful here. Take your time. You want to get up to your tape line and go slow along here. And I would suggest that you just go slow, and you're cutting in an edge. You're sanding up to that trim. What do you call that? The binding. Jeez, what do you call that? You're sanding up to the binding, and by just going slow, you can, stop as close to that as you want. So you need to take your time, but it's not super hard. And if you do get up to the binding, when you hit it with the 2000, you're going to take any kind of scuff mark off that anyway. You know what I mean? You won't even notice. But just get right up to it. Up to the tape. Try to keep your lines in the same direction. So take your time on the sides, and then take your time down here too. You want to make sure that you get all the way up to your tape, because you're going to have less sanding there than you'll have down here. This is easy to get through quickly. Okay, so I'm almost halfway done already. I'm going to, for the sake of time, turn you off and then come back. All right, so that's going to look like that. That's all you have to do, is just get all the shiny off, and then we come back with our 2000, and it clouds up again, and you want to smack out your sandpaper, clean it off. And if you don't want to go with the 100 grit, you can start with 200 or something. 400 is great. if you don't want to be as aggressive as 100. Go ahead and start with 400. And then, when we were done, we will hit it with our polish cloth, but that is going to be so nice and smooth and feels so good. All right, so I will come back once I've finished this up. All right, I went back out to the garage and secured myself a new piece of 220. This is an old piece of the 100, and so you do want a nice fresh piece so it has some rigidity, so it'll keep an edge as you're going over. But 200's a great place to settle. 100 might be a little aggressive, but the 200 is really nice. It's working great. So where you want to take your time is right up here by the tape, because when you take your tape off, you want a definite line there so that it looks like you knew what you're doing and that what you did was intentional. You know what I mean? You want a nice margin there. But I've pretty much got this dialed, and I've been at it for maybe 10 minutes. Not even making mess enough to worry about getting a vacuum out. You know, I'm hitting this off on my pants. I'll take the towel outside later and shake it. But that does it for the first sanding with 220. And that would actually, you could just go ahead and leave it like that. But we're going to take it down a little further, give it a little more satiny goodness. And again, take your time up around this tape area. That's where you want it to really look like you meant to do what you're doing. And you're going to love how this feels when you get done. Now, once you get up to this 2000, you really don't have to worry about getting up on your binding. And you don't have to get all the way to your binding anyway, because you're really just taking this back part off, the area that would, your thumb would hang up on. You don't care so much about the edges of the neck. What we're trying to get whittled off, smoothed out, is the flat back area, where your hand rests as you're moving up and down. Comprende? All right. So, a little bit more time with this guy. You'll notice at this point, if you do end up with a scratch somewhere that's deeper, it'll really show up now as it fills up with dust, and you might want to come back and hit anything that stands out. You just hit it again with your 220, and then wipe that off. Come back over it with the 2000 or 1000. 1000 would be plenty. It just turns out I had 2000 out in the garage. All right. And at this point, too, you can even go crosswise, because this 2000 is more of a polish than any kind of grit removal. It's just smoothing the whole thing up. Yeah, looks good. All right, one more break. We'll come back and take the tape off. All right, we're done. I've hit it with my polish cloth, and I'm really happy with it. I can't see any scratches anywhere. So then we'll take our tape off, and we've got a really nice line right there. Looks like we meant to do this, which of course we did. Now I'll take this one off. Now this will also, over time, because of the oils on your hand, this will have a tendency to gloss up again perhaps and get sticky as it buffs out. But you just hit it again, put some tape on, and go over it with your 2000 or 1000, whatever you have. Oh my gosh. Now that is a nice neck. And so easy to do. I'm going to try to... There, see the difference? You got that lovely wood there. There's still a little dust on it, but that'll come off. This will look a lot darker within 10 minutes of playing it. But there you've got a really nice, easy to play, smooth as can be, custom sanded neck on a really pretty guitar, which makes this a lot more fun to play. Because as someone was saying when I talked about the Les Paul Modern, they said a lot of money to pay for a guitar with a gloss neck or something like that. The point being that the gloss neck was preventing them or keeping them from buying, a great guitar. Well, you don't have to. It takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops to get rid of that. I've still got the sealant on the back, so no moisture is going to get into the neck and do weird things. Super easy to do, and oh man, that feels good. All right, so there we go. We sanded a neck. Get you some paper and get to it. Old Guy Jammin' is out.